I want to talk about what DMX is and how to set up a couple of different lights using DMX. So DMX is a universal communication method to communicate between controllers and lights. And basically there's 512 possible channels for DMX, and each channel controls one part, such as on a light like this, one channel for red, one for blue, one for green. And then if you look in your owner's manual for the light, near the back they usually have a list of the channels and what each channel controls. I have here a DMXIS controller put out by Enttec. Let's hook this up to the computer and I'll open the application up so you can kind of visualize what DMX is, how the channels work, and how they control the lights. So what I've done here is I've hooked up the DMXIS controller via USB to the computer. And as you can see here, these are the DMX channels. This is a blank show that I set up just for this video. And basically channels 1 through 16 are on the top here, 17 through 32, and you can page through using the next and back buttons, all 512 of these channels. But we're going to focus on this. So basically DMX channel 1 starts here, and if you have a 7-channel light, you're going to take up these first 7 channels, 1 through 7. So you would set your light. Say you have, we're going to use the Mega TriPar as an example. So that is, we have that set on 7-channel mode, so that's going to take up channels 1 through 7. Now we're going to set the light to channel 1. And basically the channel on the light is the starting channel. So say we wanted to use channel 17 and on for the American DJ light. It's a 7-channel light. What we're going to do is we're going to set the light to 17 because that's the starting channel, and it's going to take up the next 7 sliders or channels. This gives a really good visual representation of the channels and how they kind of translate into sliders. Now this program has a fixture library, so I can pull up American DJ and I can choose a 7-channel light. So that gives me red, green, blue, macros, auto fade, speed, strobe, and dimmer. So this gives me a good representation, and in your user manuals for the light, it'll tell you what each channel is and what it does, and you can use that as reference. Let's talk cables for a second here. This is a 25-foot DMX cable. 3-pin, just like a microphone cable, an XLR cable. Now you can use a regular XLR cable. I have one here. This is a regular microphone cable. Same pin setup, 3 pins. Audio cables are shielded differently than data cables. That being said, I've used a combination of cables live with no problems many times. I hear that audio cables can sometimes cause data blips and are not quite as reliable, but I've not seen that. So in my experience, I've used a combination just because I don't have a lot of DMX cables, and sometimes I have more lights than I have cables and I need to daisy chain or I need to hook them up with XLR. I'm going to do that today because I have a 50-foot DMX cable, but I don't feel like unraveling that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the cable, the DMX cable, to the DMXIS controller. So this is going to go in, this controller has a 5-pin and a 3-pin, and I'm going to go into the 3-pin because that's what this DMX cable and these lights are. We're going to go from that into the American DJ. Now, as you can see, the light stopped blinking here. I'm going to go into the mode is already on DMX. Channel is 21, but as we saw earlier, we're going to make this channels 1 through 7. So we're going to make sure that it's on 7-channel light. We're going to go back and we're going to bring this down to channel 1 because that's the starting channel that this light is going to start on. So this is on channel 1. You'll see when we go back to our software that now, starting on channel 1, those sliders will control this light. So we're going to take our other cable. In this case, it's a microphone cable. We're going to take that and we're going to go from the output of the American DJ light, and we're going to go into the input of our Chauvet 200B. This is an LED Splash 200B. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this one, and we'll just take a pen. We're going to reset all of these pins, and I'm going to bring this light so you can see it. Alright, so these pins are 1 through 256. Now you might have to do some math in here because we want this one to start at 8 because our American DJ is channels 1 through 7, so this is going to be 8 and on. So as you can see here, we already have a dedicated switch for channel 8. So we just flick that, toggle that switch right there up on 8. So now this starting DMX channel is 8. So this is going to be 8, 9, 10, 11. All of our equipment is hooked up. Let me move this controller out of the way because we're not using that. So we have out of the laptop into the controller, into our first light, into the second light. If we bring our first slider up, this is the red slider of the American DJ. Nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? Because this light has a master dimmer. So if we bring the master dimmer up, as you can see, respectively, that light went up. So now we can bring our red up and down, same with the green, same with the blue. We bring blue on, and we bring the strobe, beautiful, and we can also bring this down, and we can go into different presets. What I've done is I've loaded up the preset for the LED Splash 200B. This is a 6-channel light. The first channel of the light, which is going to be channel 8 in our DMX map, is mode RGB. So this is various modes that are built into the light. We're going to leave that one. This does have a dimmer, but on the Chauvet lights, it works opposite of the American DJ. So dimmer needs to be at 0, and that is full strength. If we went to 100, that would be faded all the way out. So, in a recap, our American DJ light, which is the first light we have, we set to channel 1. That's a 7-channel light, so it's going to take up channels 1 through 7. As you can see here, channels 1 through 7. And each channel handles an individual control of the light, and in the owner's manual it'll tell what that control is. Then we have our second light. That is picking up the first empty channel after 7. I had to calculate that. It doesn't do it automatically. You just have to find out, okay, your first light's taking up channels 1 through 7, the next open channel is 8. So our second light is plugged in, and the toggles on the back, because it doesn't have an electronic display, we had to set the toggles, and the toggle on the back is set to 8, and that's going to take up channels 8 through 13 because it's a 6-channel light. Now if you had a third light in there, it would start on channel 14, and so on. So let's bring these lights down. I'm just going to use the master dimmers, and that is a basic overview of DMX, how to set up lights, a visualization of the channels, and how they get set up with multiple lights. Now that we've taken a look at the software controller that gives us a good visualization of what's happening, we're going to take a look at the hardware controller that I have, the Chauvet Obey 4. This is a 4-channel lighting controller. It's made for LEDs, and it has color presets here. But what happens is we're running this in 7-channel mode, as you saw in the software. So channels 1 through 4, if we select fixture 1, because this is set to a 7-channel, we have nothing because our master dimmer is residing on channel 7. So none of these sliders are going to do anything. So if we go to setup and we change this to a 4-channel light, so now if you check the owner's manual, the 4-channel is going to control red, green, blue, and then the master dimmer. So if we bring master dimmer up, we have red, green, and blue. Now we can mix them with this. We can also hit presets and we can do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, magenta, and white. So go back in, we could hit blackout. So this is a very simple 4-channel lighting controller. I prefer the software controller. There's much more control. You can save presets, etc. There are hardware controllers where you can save presets, but again, I prefer to see everything visually on the screen, and I find this a lot easier to set up shows. So this is what I use live, DMXIS by Enttec. Anything will work. Just make sure you check the owner's manual, figure out what your light has for channels, what they control. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos on the DMXIS, how to program that. We'll go in and how to do, show how to do different oscillations and animations of lights and things like that. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more videos. And like this video if you found it helpful. Ask me any questions you have in the comments below. I will answer those as quickly as I can. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a good day.